When we write contracts, what should we do? We should not try to control the vendor. We should be responsible for the risk. We should not do this. We should let the vendor write the contract to minimize the risk of the client. Okay, I'm going to show you 2 or 3 examples now, and you're going to really jump out of your seat. Okay, because these are non-construction. Well, I think we have 1 construction example. But the other are non-construction, and you're going to see the numbers. Okay, the first thing we have to understand is what is an expert vendor's plan. And this is something that's really different than what we're used to. What we want the vendor to do is we want them to look into the future. We want them to come up with a plan from beginning to end of a service, a project, whatever they're doing. We want them to deliver it, give us this plan in terms of milestones, and the milestones are all described by metrics. So if it's a 3-year project, the end product is defined in terms of metrics, and all the milestones are also defined in terms of metrics. Then what we want them to do is identify every component in that service or project that they do not control. And we want them to identify what is their expectation in terms of time, cost, and metrics, what they expect of the stakeholder who actually has control. We then want them to identify any area that lacks enough information. We want them to utilize their expertise and identify what their assumptions are to make that plan come to pass. Once we do this, it creates transparency. And when do we want this? At the very beginning. Once again, detailed schedule from beginning to end, milestones in terms of metrics, expertise used to fill in the gaps where we have insufficient information, and identified when they can't control the risk and what their expectations are. We come up with a process that we used to call a procurement process, but it works for delivering any service. And this is done before we award the contract, and when they do all this, that becomes their contract. It becomes the best value for the lowest cost. It does not transfer risk. It allows the vendors to write their scope, task, and measurements that creates efficiency. Now, once you let a vendor write the contract, what if the vendor doesn't know what they're going to do? I propose to you, they can't write a contract because they don't know what to write. The risk is too what? It's too high. Can't do it. Just by allowing them to do what they're supposed to do, forcing them to look in the future, will identify that they can't do it. We did a $30 million IT project, and the owner actually made a decision, picked somebody that they were working with, gave them 3 months, and after 3 months and $250,000 down the drain, they had to discontinue them and go to the next vendor. Non-experts can't do this. Only experts can.